All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode here at Salvage Workshop. Today's wonderful mystery on how we're going to get it out of here is this. This is a Huber grader. So essentially it's like a tractor with a grader blade and like a front plow of some kind. Small for a grader, but definitely kind of a cool machine. It does not run, so I've been told, just like everything else that I tend to buy. We're looking at pretty much an identical engine to what's on the Broderson crane. So this is a Ford. Don't know exactly which one it is, but everybody helped me out a lot on the Broderson. It's like a Ford 172 or 192, something to that effect. Yeah, it's a very crude looking machine. I mean, the sheet metal is pretty much just bent and then bolted on. I mean, I don't know hardly anything about these. Some basic gauges. Interesting. I don't think we're going to spend too much time walking around it here. We'll do that back at the shop. But the beautiful thing is I can pull the truck kind of right in front of it and hopefully just winch it right onto the trailer. We do have to deal with the blade and the plow, and that tire looks to be down. That tire is down. So is that one, and I can't tell that one. We're gonna start with trying to get these grader blades up and the wheels up. So we'll go from there. Okay. Now I think I'm gonna try and chain these straight. All right, I did that on both sides. Hopefully, it'll go straight. We'll find out. All right, well, we got it here. It's been a day or two. Let's see if we can get it off the trailer. All right, well, we got the Huber back safely to the shop. So let's just do a quick walk around and take a look at it. This machine is rough. These Huber graders are very crude in regards to like the way that the panels are just a bend. There's, you know, like this mount here for the cylinder is just welded to the face of of whatever that is. The frame is just a large, tall piece of angle iron. Style wasn't really in style then. Don't know. But the front two tires will take air. They'll hold air, but within 20 minutes, they're both flat. This one has air or liquid or something in it. I could not get it to take more air. And this area right here, where it looks like there's a tube in it. So the nut that would be holding that tube is gone, and the rim itself is destroyed right there. So this rim is bad and technically will need to be replaced. I don't even know if that's fixable. I mean, the tire itself is in bad shape. All these back fenders are all bent up. You see all these like waves in the paint? Those are like grind marks. And so somebody at one point ground this thing down with an angle grinder, I bet, and then they sprayed it. And you can tell they sprayed it because there's overspray, and maybe they rolled it, I don't know, but they definitely didn't do a great job. This tire here, I can't get to take air at all. And this is not any better. That probably also junk. You can't really, I mean, there's no nut there, it's just rust. So there's that. That cylinder for the angle of the blade is definitely leaking, or was decades ago. The cylinder itself, see all the pitting? All that needs to be smoothed out before you run this, otherwise you'll kill those seals even more. This cylinder here, it's got rust all over it. Here's the spring out of the oil seal, so it's popped itself out. I mean, here's our little driver compartment. The lever for the transmission is disconnected for some reason. I have no idea why. So you can't, that does nothing. And here's our little driver area. Looks like it says we've got 5,097 hours. Oil pressure, water temp, fuel, amps. Maybe that's a horn. Start. And this is our, I want to say this is our throttle. Then you got low and high and maybe neutral in the middle, and then forward and reverse. And one time there was turn signals, and I don't know what any of these do, but obviously they control the blade functions. And then this machine has a front blade, so it's kind of like a little plow blade. It's got a cylinder that pushes that down, and I don't know if it's used for filling in potholes or if it's for back dragging, or I don't know. I mean, I guess you could use it for snow plowing. Kind of an interesting setup there. Kind of weird with this hydraulic pump here that it's looks like an afterthought. It was just tagged on to this plate with a belt running down to the pulley. So I don't know, that's something new on me. There are a lot of hydraulic lines that look like this that are basically rotten right through to the metal. I would say most, if not all, need to be replaced. This alone is worth noting. The oil, let's see if I can get this to stay. Yeah, let's stick it right here. So here's the full mark right there. And we are all the way up. Right there is where we're at. So that's like 3.5 inches of, maybe even 4 inches of water, most likely, coolant, or fuel in the oil pan. I haven't tried to turn this machine over yet. I definitely haven't put a battery on it, so I think we're gonna do here in a short bit, we're gonna put a socket on the crank and see if it'll turn. One of the main reasons that I even bought this machine was that this is a Ford diesel engine. It's a, I think it's a 192 or 172. Maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. Here's the block number, D2NL Salvage-6015A. It's got a Rusa Master injection pump. Just see if there's any other markings on it. I can't find anywhere. I mean, there's a tag there, but I can't read any of it. So it's obviously a Ford. This also has the injectors going right into the head there, or the injector lines, I mean. Probably a very unique setup when it was running well, but it's gonna take some work to get this thing running. All right, so this is your air intake, and obviously it's cracked up and wide open. So what I did was I disconnected the tube that went from right here down to right here, and then I took some Scotch-Brite and I zip tied it over the opening here as well as up there to keep the mice out of it. So now at least no water will build up or in either of them. If it does go down into this, it can drain out, and it can't get up into this because this is your air intake. So, and obviously I stuck a cover over the entire exhaust pipe to try and eliminate any additional water getting in. Beyond that, I've done nothing to this machine. These two straps I had on each of the front axles was literally to pull the axles and keep them locked so that when I was moving it around or pulling it on the trailer, it didn't try and go left or right because I was by myself. It's basically got power steering, hydraulic steering, which is that cylinder right there. And that cylinder is just completely covered in grease. So it's definitely leaking. All the oil and junk is built up on that from the years of just being ridden hard. But here's another number I see. It's got a Ford number there, or Ford emblem there, 4J4 1X, and that's about all I see. I'm sure the head has a marking somewhere, but I don't see it at the moment. So yeah, all the electrical is rough, the lights are all broken. I mean, we'll see. It's definitely still worth putting some time into and seeing if it's worth bringing back to life. If for nothing else, then to just give it a shot. Worst case scenario, hopefully the engine is good, or at least has parts I can use from it to make this crane work. This is really what I want more than this machine. That crane is amazing. It will be amazing once it gets its TLC, but it's kind of a situation where when you find certain machines in certain places in certain conditions, you just try and save them from their eventual fate, and we'll see what happens with this one. But let's put that socket on the crankshaft and see what happens. All right, here is the nut on the crankshaft pulley. Well, it's not going that way. Let's see if I can get it to go the other way. Ooh. Yeah, I don't think so. This motor is locked up. All right, let's see if we can get it to move at all. Set you down there. Oh boy. Yeah, it ain't moving at all. Well, if you got any ideas on what could be locking this machine up, I'm betting it's either piston rings or bearings in the bottom end around the crankshaft. Hoping it's not that. Guess we'll have to, you know, maybe what we should do is we should open the oil pan and see what that 3 inches of stuff is. Let's do that, and then we'll go from there. All right, so this is our drain plug right here on the side of the machine. Let's see if we can get that oh yeah, we got water. See that? That's already water. I haven't even gotten it very far out and it's leaking. Water is much thinner and water always settles to the bottom. I ended up draining all the oil out of it. All the water, all the oil, all the contaminants are out, so the engine has nothing in it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this filter off and see if I have one. If I have one that will fit this, we'll get rid of this filter, we'll put that new filter on. And I don't want to waste a bunch of oil on this thing because it's locked up right now. So, but I do want to have some oil in it. So I've got a fresh oil change out of, I think this is from the skid steer. And I'm hoping it's enough to fill it up to where it should be on the dipstick, put a new filter on it, and then we're probably going to go in and basically pull each injector and just fill all the cylinders with maybe some Marvel Mystery Oil, and then we'll just let that sit until we get back to this machine. So for right now, what I wanted to know was, is there water in the oil pan? And we have solved that mystery. Not that it was much of a mystery. There was water in the oil pan. So now, let's get this thing kind of soaking and hopefully it'll, I don't know, free up at some point. But let's see if we can get this filter off. Go check it out and see what I've got. I think I have something that with that thread and that seal. All right, let's check, see what we've got. So a bunch of these filters were left when I got this shop. That looks like the right threads. The seal's a bit smaller, but that might work. I don't want to waste, I know I have this filter on another machine. I want to use the least likely filter for me to use because I don't want to waste something that I would use on another project. What are these ones? That looks right. Shorter, but that's okay. I think that hole's bigger. Yep, threads are bigger. Alright, here's the other box. That looks right. Yeah. Let's take that. We're going to put that filter on it. So, yeah, all these filters, brake parts, all this kind of stuff was all left, and I was ecstatic to have it. You know, I don't know exactly what all these are specifically meant for, but I mean, for this very situation, it's amazing just to have the selection of miscellaneous filters, because this one is not going to cost me anything. We can throw it on there and kind of put it on a machine that we don't quite know if it's worth even spending any money on at all. And we know that it'll have a better filter and maybe try and filter out some of the junk that's in the engine. I don't know. We'll find out. I'm not sure what's causing it to be locked up, but a new filter should help. All right, here's our filter. So these Napa filters are made by Wix, so it's a good filter. All right, so here's my oil setup. We've got a tube going up to a funnel as the oil fills on the valve cover here. So we're gonna dump it in there and hopefully it makes it into the engine. We'll find out. All right, let's check this. We are right there. Full is right here. So we're right below full. So I think we're gonna leave it there. And then we're gonna get some Inoperable mystery oil soaking in the cylinders. And then we're gonna let this baby sit. And whenever I get back to it, we'll deal with it then. At least we have the water out of it. And the new filter's not really doing anything right now, but... Oh. There's our oil fill. Right there. I thought I had to go on the valve cover where the cap is for the vent. Nope, it's right here. That would have been easier. Oh well. Now we know for next time. We got this old beast finally back to the shop here. It was challenging, mainly because I was by myself and I had to do everything alone. But with the right tools and the right equipment, you can achieve anything. Was it worth it? I really don't know. I mean, it's a grader, tractor, dozer blade thing. What do you think as far as the use of this tractor? I mean, it is kind of a jack of a few trades. The amount of work it probably needs to get it operational, I just don't know. Like I mentioned before, potentially, if there are good parts from this engine, we can help get this engine working, which is the main reason that I bought it. I'm not one to usually buy machines and just tear them apart looking for pieces. I like to save them as a whole, but the amount of money and time and effort it would take to probably get this machine up to snuff, I'm just not sure if there's a benefit to me there. So, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Let me know. Are these extremely awesome machines? Is it better that they're so short and agile compared to much larger graders? I am really at a loss as to whether or not I want to keep going with this machine or not. And so I'd really love to know your opinion. What do you think? Is this thing worth spending time and money to get operational? Or is it just a parts donor? I mean, I can see both sides. Normally I have a plan with a lot of these in regards to what I want to do with them. This is not one of those. It was kind of an afterthought machine based on what I was asked to pay in regards to what they wanted for it. I just couldn't pass it up. So, I would appreciate if you'd give me some sort of insight in regards to your thoughts on it, and we'll go from there. We'll make a plan, we'll decide on what to do, but for now, we've saved it from the scrap. So I hope you enjoyed at least the recovery of it. Maybe you learned something, maybe you saw some little tip that you might be able to employ. I appreciate you watching, I truly do. From the bottom of my heart, and from my family to yours, thank you for your time here at Salvage Workshop. You guys have a great one, and I will absolutely catch you on the next project. Take it easy.